Dude, that's fucking crazy that people just don't do shit because they don't know how. They just don't want to figure it out.
Have you ever had that feeling though?
I do it fucking every day.
Huh?
Literally every fucking day I do something like that.
Oh, really?
And
Every
my
day?
entire job consists of that, doing shit that I don't know how to do, and you fucking figure it out.
So if someone asks you, what do? You say, I'm a professional, don't know how to
You
do
get
it.
fucking kicked in the teeth every day, and there's problems every day, and you figure out how to solve them, and that's it.
Do you get stressed?
Yeah. Well, that's one of my topics.
What?
Is a good example of that.
Teeth?
No. We'll talk about that later, but so finally got the gloves.
Yes.
So for anyone that doesn't know, I've only posted about it a couple times, but I've been working on this shit for 2 fucking years. Literally 2 years exactly. Starting a motocross glove company. And they're finally here. My first run. So JP's been helping me out with it. He did all the designs, and we shot some videos for it already and this and that, but I'm just behind on getting everything up. So I have the gloves. And it took 2 years because, again, we had this idea, and I remember we talked about it in your room. I was like, dude, I want to do something with moto, but I just don't know what. And then we brainstormed some ideas like gear or just gloves or this, that.
Goggles, yeah.
And then, I'm like, okay, I think I want to do gloves, but I don't know. Like, a huge key of doing anything is talking to someone that already does it. So Nate Adams, the dude that owns Deft, we follow each other on Instagram. So I hit him up and I'm like, hey, can we hop on a call, this week? And I just want to pick your brain on some stuff. He's like, yeah, sure. So I talked to him for like 45 minutes on the phone before I even started or got going with this, because I didn't want to just like go for it completely without some sort of inside knowledge. So I talked to him about it and kind of figured out what he was doing. And he gave me some tips on what I should do differently than what he did and this and that. So then, I started finding some suppliers or manufacturers, literally just fucking Googled it. And
a glove manufacturer?
That's where you start. And then you find other websites, you start digging, emailed probably 5 of them. And then, so a place in China, and then started doing, I ordered a bunch of samples from them, and then we tested a bunch of samples and kind of made like a hybrid glove. We liked the palm off of this glove, but the top layer off of this glove, and we liked the closure off of a different glove, and this and that. So we kind of made, not reinventing the wheel or anything. It's just like, this is kind of the best of all of these gloves put together. And then had them manufacturing. We started doing some designs, and they were sending samples and stuff, and it fucking takes forever to do all that stuff. And then we were pretty close to the glove. We only had like 2 little changes, and it was like they made the changes for this sample, and then the next sample they sent, the changes were made, but then the rest of the glove was fucked up. So that got me discouraged, and I'm like, fuck, I can't be ordering thousands of pairs of these things and then like they all show up wrong. So I went back to square one, and then just by meeting people, the dude Evan that runs Lag Tactical here in Reno, he hit me up and was like, hey, come tour the facility. I'm like, okay. So I went down there, and I was telling him about it, and he was like, oh, I know this dude Harvey that works at Glacier Glove, and that's a glove company here in Reno, but they do like outside shit, outdoor gloves. So I met with Harvey. Like everyone that's afraid to do something, literally, if you email someone that does it, email 10 people that do it, and at least one of them will get back to you and be willing to meet with you, likely, if you can, usually, if you have no in with them, add value to them somehow, figure out what they want and offer that in exchange for meeting with them, not just like, hey, I want to take you to coffee, because most people probably don't give a fuck unless they're really nice. But anyway, meet with this dude. He gave me a referral for, I told him what I was doing, and they couldn't really help me out, but he gave me a referral for one of the manufacturers they use in Pakistan. Started over with those guys. I mailed them like the last decent sample that we had and told them about the changes. They mailed, one back, and it was pretty good. So then we went into design, this and that. Fast forward 2 years. Now we have the gloves. Fucking got them. Ordered them. So now we have to sell them.
The house.
They're here. But that's the whole point of this story, was to talk about fucking doing shit that you don't know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
So the entire process, I don't know how to fucking do it. And now I have 1,200 pairs of gloves, but you figure it out. And really, so they finally shipped these gloves, and that's fucking nerve wracking in itself. When I have to go to the bank and you wire $7,000 to Pakistan. That's fucking nerve wracking. You're like,
First
well,
of
I
all,
hope these
it's
fucking show up.
really hard to save $7,000 in a company that you don't even really have going, you know?
Right. Well, I had 2 years to save for it, so because I knew it was coming. And you can't buy like 100 pairs from someone that's custom making the gloves. Like I ordered 1,200 pairs, and that was as few as I could get them. They wanted me to do like 2,000 was their minimum and stuff. But you figure, they're dealing with brands that are ordering thousands and thousands of pieces of stuff. So like, they were actually really cool to me, knowing that I'm like a small guy in the grand scheme of things. They could just treat me like fucking shit, which we'll get to that in a second on this next part. But so anyway, wired them the money. Then it takes them another 2 months to make everything. And then finally got them, though they shipped. And then this shipping is not like fucking ordering something off of Amazon. And I've never received freight or anything. I have no fucking clue how to do it. But I was, you ask them, and there's some language barrier, but they speak pretty good English. I'm like, how do I, receive these? Like, he's like, they'll be at the airport. I'm like, okay, great. But like, they don't ship them to your house. They don't ship freight to your fucking house.
So it's weird. The samples will come right to the house.
Yeah, but because they ship them like DHL, like 2-day shipping or whatever. So it's a little bit different. But so they ship them. They send me like the invoice and other paperwork that I've never seen before. And there's like one number on this paperwork. It said like airway bill, and there was like a number. So I just Googled, like I've literally figured out how to do everything on Google. You just fucking Google it. So I typed in on Google, and this was like 2 weeks ago, freight tracking. And there was like a couple of websites that came up. I click on one, it had, just like a standard tracking thing. I pasted the one number that was on there. I was like, that has to mean something. And it came up. But all it has on there is flights. So I could see like from Pakistan to Dubai, Dubai to London, London to San Fran, San Fran to Reno. And then all of them were booked. And I'm like, okay, that's good. I guess they're booked. This is definitely it. And then a couple of days goes by, and I keep checking it. And then it was like, okay, I can see that it went from Pakistan to Dubai. I'm like, okay, it's on the way. So it'll be a couple more days and it'll be here. And then, but it's not like when you type in USPS shipping where it's like estimated delivery this date between this time, and it's like on the truck out for delivery. Like it's not like that.
Right.
So I finally determined that they're getting here on Monday, which was 9-10 days ago now. But I have no idea where they're going because it gives me no information on this tracking. All it says was Reno. British Reno. All it says was Reno, and it had the flight number, and it was BA something. I Googled the flight number, and I couldn't find it on like Flight Tracker or anything, but BA means British Airways. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just go to the fucking place that, I again Googled like RNO for our airport freight. And then a couple of different businesses pop up, and they're all in this one section, kind of a little bit north of the airport. So I go over there, fucking all the doors are locked. I go there on Monday when they were supposed to be here in the afternoon. Because it said they got in, it was like that morning or something, after it finally updated. All the doors are locked. There's like one dude standing there talking to another guy that doesn't work there in this garage. And he worked for Alaska. So I just brought all the paperwork. I'm like, hey, I hope you can fucking help me locate this. Probably not in the right place, but maybe you can. I figure that guy working there should know more about it than me, dealing with that type of stuff all the time. And he was like, oh yeah, this isn't us. And then he's like, but there's a FedEx and a UPS and a DHL on like the northern side of the airport. I was like a little tiny bit north. I had to go more north. I'm like, okay. And he tells me how to go or how to get there. Drive over there, fucking walk into FedEx, or it was DHL first. Same thing, not theirs. But you keep picking up more and more information from these people each step of the way. So I've figured out, okay, well, it's not Alaska and it's not FedEx isn't handling it. But then another guy comes out and he's like, oh, British Airways, like they don't even fly here to Reno. I'm like, okay. He's like, but United is partners with British Airways, so maybe it came in on a United flight. I'm like, okay. Then I go to the FedEx. They basically told me the same thing. So then I go back to the airport, and then I just go up to where you fucking check in the bags, you know? And I'm like, same thing. Hey, hopefully you can help me with this. And they're like, oh yeah, go to United. Because that I actually Googled it in my car, partners of British Airways and American came up. So I went there first and they were like, yeah, go to United. They're like, but go to the baggage claim area. It's over there past the golf shop. I'm like, okay, walk in there. Same thing. Asked this lady. She's like, oh, it's probably at customs. We don't have it here. She checked it. She walks me over to the customs area. They don't have shit there. And they're like, yeah, but they're like, if it came in on British Airways, it came in by truck, actually. So it's probably at this place called Cal Sierra, which is not at the airport at all. It's on the other side of the airport off of like Rock Boulevard, way over there. I'm like, okay. So I fucking drive over there. And this all took like 3 hours of just finding more and more information about it. And I go to Cal Sierra. They have it. I'm like, sweet.
Fucking Easter egg.
I went there, but then the chick was fucking out to lunch that was dealing with it. I'm like, okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure it's here because I didn't want to like lose it because I don't know how it fucking works. I don't know if I don't claim it, they fucking ship it back to Pakistan or some shit. Know. So I'm like, okay, it's here. And she's like, yeah. I was like, okay, I'll come back tomorrow. So then they gave me her card or whatever. So I called the next day. She's like, yeah, it's here. But I can't clear it through customs. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I didn't know that was even a fucking thing. And if it is, like, shouldn't it have been cleared, like, when it came to the country? Like, what are you guys doing with it already? But see, I don't know how it works. And she's like, yeah, you probably need a customs broker to clear it. I'm like, fuck, okay. I was like, well, where do I find one of those? She's like, go to customs. And she's like, it's kind of by the airport. I was like, yeah, I know where it is. They told me about you. I was like, it's in the green building. She's like, yeah. I was like, okay. So I go back to customs and then they look at it. And then I learned that if the freight is over $2,500, then you need a customs broker to clear it through customs, which it was. And they see that because you have to present the invoice and it says that I paid $7,000 and whatever for it. So then I asked the fuck guy at customs, I'm like, okay, how do I find the broker? He's like, oh, just type it in on Google. That's what he said. I'm like, all right, thanks. Like, that's what I would have fucking done without you. So I go home and then I forget what he said. So I typed in like freight broker and I saw like Full Tilt Logistics came up on there and I've seen their trucks running around. I've seen their building on Plum. So I emailed them like, hey, this is the situation. Can you help me with this? They're like, no, you need a customs broker. And then they linked one in on the email, which is really nice of them. I'm like, sweet. So then I call that chick and tell her the information. And I'm like, I have never done this before. I've never received freight. I have no clue what I'm doing. So you're going to have to help me through this. And she's like, okay, no problem. Let me talk to my boss. Boss calls me back and she was like pretty bitchy, really pushy. They're out of San Fran. Wouldn't really expect anything less.
So, like, what were they saying that was kind of, that you were like, well, that was pushy?
It's just like they'll cut you off, like when you're still talking, and then like, da-da-da-da-da, like, do this, need power of attorney. I'm like, okay, so apparently you have to sign a power of attorney, which gives them the right to sign off on your behalf through customs or whatever. So then I'm like, cool. So then they send over the documents and stuff. And then she's like, yeah, it's going to be like around $450 and you have to pay up front before we do anything. And you have to sign the power of attorney. I'm like, okay, no problem. I was like, but what's the total? Because like, you want me to pay up front, but you can't even give me a total. And I'm always super polite over email and stuff. And she like wouldn't fucking give me the total.
She just said around $450.
Around $450. I'm like, okay. And then, but she also then told me like customs or whatever is $125, and then they charge like $5 per 1,000 in freight, minimum $75. So I had to pay the minimum. So I'm like, okay, there's 200 there. So like, what's the other 250 for? I assumed it was for them or it was like tax or some shit, but I just want to know what it is, especially before I'm giving you the right to sign off on my name on shit.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't tell me. And then I asked for it again and she emailed me back and said, we've gone back and forth several times and you still haven't signed the power of attorney. So I'm not answering any more questions for you, is what the email said. I was like, what a fucking bitch. So I was like, okay, you know, I told you before, like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never done this before. And like, if you can't be more transparent about your pricing, I'll go find another customs broker that is, because obviously my business doesn't mean very much to you. And that's what I was saying earlier about, I mean, they're probably dealing with huge freight orders. They could give a fuck about $450. And that's why she's being a bitch to me. So that's what I did. That was on Friday. Now this Monday, I wanted to find someone local so I could fucking just go there.
Right.
So I find one. I go there. Should have called first. No longer in business. Sick. Because I called them when I got there because I couldn't find the office. And they're like, oh, yeah, the office isn't there anymore. I'm in Minneapolis. I was like, sick. Thanks. Googled another one all the way on the other side of the airport again, near where the cargo is. And this was another thing the week before. I'm calling this chick at Cal Sierra. I'm like, hey, this is the situation. Like, sorry, like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you guys are charging me by the day. Like, for all I know, it could be fucking $100 a day to store the shit there. I have no fucking clue. She's like, oh no, it's just $40 for us. And then it's $10 a week after this week. I'm like, all right, cool. So then drive over to this other place, a huge warehouse, and it has a different name on the building. I'm like, fuck. So I called them and I was like, hey, I need a customs broker. Can you help me with that? Oh yeah, we do that. I was like, okay. Yeah, I just saw a different name on the building. I was like, actually, I'm outside, so I'm just going to come in so we can handle this right now. And he was like, I'm in San Jose. Like, fuck. God damn it. I'm like, all right, whatever. So then I went home, and he was super cool. It's the same exact process, power of attorney, blah, blah, blah. And I asked how much it was, and it was the same thing, except he told me, you know, what they're charging, and it was $410.81 or whatever. I'm like, bro, how hard was that to fucking tell me how much it is before you charge my card? So that was done same day. Got it handled, and then went back to the place.
So would they give you a piece of paper that you showed at the place, or?
Yeah, he scanned over whatever his release or that it was done, and then then I fucking went over there to Cal Sierra to pick it up, and I got there at like 9:13, and the chick who had to release the shit doesn't get there till fucking 10. So I was so pissed, dude. I like never get pissed at an establishment, and I didn't, but I was just like, motherfucker, dude. Every little thing. I was like, fuck. So then
what'd you do?
Dude, and then I was like driving home because I'm all busy and I was backed up. I was sick. To top it off, I was sick last week when I was dealing with this. I couldn't even fucking talk on the phone. So then, like with the real estate business, I was behind on all my calls, all this shit. And I'm like, fuck, I cannot drive back there later in the day to handle this. I want to do it fucking right now. And then I'm doing the math while I'm driving home. Like, by the time I get home, I could just turn around and it would be 10 by the time I'm here. I'm like, well, then I want to race Arena Cross this weekend. I'm like, fuck, well, I got to get an air filter and I'll get some oil. I was like, I'll just head over to the shop, fucking pick that shit up, and then we'll have to worry about that later in the week. And then I'll kill some time that way. So then I drive over to Moto Source, and this place is right near Moto Source if you went up Rock and then over to Mill. But I drive all the way around the airport because I think I'm going home first. So I get to Moto Source,
you're
like
all flustered in your head.
Yeah, I'm all flustered. I'm a motherfucker. I texted you. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
And I get to Moto Source. They're fucking closed, dude. They don't open until 10 too. I'm like, fuck, I should have known that. I used to fucking work here. God damn it.
You're just so I've been in the same mind state where you're just like, you don't know what the fuck to do because you're so pissed.
Exactly.
But you're not like pissed where you get angry. You're just like, everything's inconvenient right now, you know?
So then I drove right past RMS when I was going to Moto Source. I saw they were open. I was like, fuck it, I'll just go to RMS. Walk in there. I get 2 things of oil, and I need an oil filter and an air filter. And I saw they had, like, I never go to RMS, so I don't know, like, what they have there. Or, you know, I don't know anyone that works there or that type of thing. And fucking, I saw they had, I always buy those cheap ass air filters, the Maxima Pro filter that's pre-oiled, and they're $10 a piece because then you just use them twice and throw it away instead of washing them. And I saw they had a couple of them hanging there. I was like, I want that filter, the Maxima Pro filter pre-oiled, but for the 18 Honda 450 or what. Oh yeah, no problem. And he comes back with the fucking no toil pre-oiled filter that's twice the price. And I didn't say anything, but I should have. It's like, motherfucker. He's like, do you need an oil filter too? And I'm like, yeah. K&N oil filter. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit, dude? You don't have the fucking whatever that brand is that every other shop
the
in the
green
fucking
box,
world, the green box, dude. Give me that shit for $2.99. I don't want fucking K&N. I'm not putting this shit in a fucking Chevy 350.
You know they ain't making any money in RMS. They gotta fucking sell you the K&N one.
It was $56, and I was expecting like 30 because I also don't get a deal there.
Right.
And I'm fucking spending way more on this stupid ass shit that I don't even really need. I only needed the air filter. I'm like, well, while I'm here, I'll get oil, and then next time. And I always say that. Every time I'm at the shop, I fucking buy oil, and I have like 10 quarts of oil out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'll take some.
No, you won't. Why? You don't change your oil anyway.
I know, cheaper. Look at you. You got 10
so
stacked.
Like,
you don't even use it.
And so then I drive back over to Cal Sierra, and it's still like 9:45. So I just sat in my car for 15 minutes. 10 on the dot. I fucking walked in. Like, this bitch better not be late for work. And then took her like 15 minutes to like sort the paperwork or whatever. And then finally fucking picked the shit up. And then drove around to the backed the van up the ramp, loaded the boxes in. It was 6 boxes. And then she's like, yeah, cool. So it's just $50. I'm like, sweet. I hand her my card. You know what she fucking says?
We don't take cards.
Says, we only take cash. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
2020 and you only take
cash, dude. Yeah, or check, she says. I'm like, oh, okay. Thanks.
Slammed.
Dude, luckily I had cash on me. But, dude, I would have been so fucking pissed if I had to drive to the bank, unload the boxes, drive all the way to the bank, come back, wait for her again, fucking load. Dude, I would have been pissed. But I had cash.
Thank God you had cash, dude.
So the moral of that long-winded story that just took fucking 30 minutes to tell is that if you're scared to fucking do something because you don't know how to do it, figure it the fuck out and Google it.
Might take you 2 years or 20 minutes, but that's up for you to decide.
Fuck, dude. We only take cash.
You're about to take a knuckle to the face.
I'm not above hitting a chick over that.
Jesus. That's right.
Dude, only take cash.
That
Kidding
is
me?
so crazy.
But we got the gloves.
Yep. So do you have any, announcements or dates when you'd like them to be live or anything?
Nope. I've been working on it when I have time, getting stuff ready, but you knocked out the product shots and stuff, so I'll be taking some more like the lifestyle type shots at Arena Cross this weekend with them. And then I got the site pretty much ready to go. I just have to add the photos, and I'll probably end up redoing like the layout and stuff. But yeah, it's mostly ready. And then fucking dealing with trying to get hats and stuff is another pain in the ass, but I'll get that figured out too.
And then once I'm back, we'll just knock out a couple more ads and stuff.
Yeah, we got a couple of ads shot, ready to go. So I have some work to do over the next 2 weeks, getting everything uploaded and online and get the site live at least, but a long time coming and a lot of fucking Googling.
That's exciting though. You're gonna be telling a speech to some school or some fucking some community that pays fucking $50 a ticket to hear you tell that story in 10 years. And
I won't even show up.
I'll
just play this, dude.
Hell yeah. Well, everybody in the audience, thank you for listening. And this wraps up our time now. Yeah. Payable to Baptist Supply.
That's right, dude. LLC.
That's cool. Most people are too scared to even fucking apply for a new job.
That's true. Ask for a fucking raise tomorrow.
Yeah, you should.
Only if you're worth it, though. If you're a piece of shit employee, don't ask for it because you're not going to get it.
Right. You gotta add value when you. It's almost a guaranteed yes, When you
Yeah.
taught me that, when I was doing stuff for Nick, ever since then, if you add value to whatever you're asking for, and you got to figure it out what the value is first. You can't just be like, I'll fucking get you in and out card, you know?
Well, that's the thing with, not everyone is an entrepreneur and not everyone has like a business mindset, but especially at the gym, dude, there's so many people that fucking bitch about how the gym is run or a gym is run that have never attempted to run a business and they've just been a W-2 employee their whole fucking life. It's like, you guys have no fucking clue
Right.
on what it takes, or there's so many other things that are required to run a business minus what you see. Like all they see is, oh, I pay, $189 a month for this.
If I was getting paid $189 a month, I'd have this.
Yeah.
No.
But it's the same thing for, it's always, oh, my boss doesn't pay me enough. It's like your employees are investments to a boss, and it's just a return, just like any other investment that you might make in the stock market or something. With an employee, it's like, okay, I have to pay this dude $10 an hour to do a menial task. And in return, I know if I pay him $10 an hour, he will produce $20 an hour in the business. So if you can only produce $20 an hour in the business, you're not going to get paid $20 an hour to do that task, because that's just a break even for the boss. But if you can do another task or find a way to make your boss more money and prove it to him and say, hey, you don't have to say, well, I'm making you $35 an hour and this and that, but just that's what JP means by add value and prove it. And then
you don't have to make money. You could cut back on spending too.
Yeah,
or
saving money,
save time is money too.
Yeah. Just anything that makes you more valuable as an employee. And every boss, what? Oh, nice. The marker. Every boss in the world will fucking say, yeah, I'll pay you more, because they want to keep people like you, and they want to fire people who are pieces of shit and want fucking $15 an hour for nothing.
Right. You know what my new favorite word is?
Fucking physicist.
Acquitted.
Yeah. Acquittal gang.
Acquittal gang.